This is my full journey so far with both Coolpeel and a Nano Laser Peel. I'm about 8 months out at this point from having both of those procedures done, and I recorded everything that happened right after, the weeks after, really give you a good idea of the kind of results you can expect. I am 49. I had the peels done when I was actually 48, but I just turned 49. So this is from 8 months ago. You think that we may be sort of similar and that this may be good information for you, and you're still trying to decide whether you really want to, bite the bullet and go down the laser route. Here's what I went through. Here's the results that I got. People could see kind of what you can expect and see if it's maybe right for them or maybe not right for them. For me, I am trying to avoid surgery at all costs. So I'm trying to keep my skin as smooth and wrinkle-free and producing as much collagen now so that I don't have to feel like I want to consider surgery in the future. I can tell you I am going through menopause right now. I am on estrogen and a little bit of progesterone therapy. I have noticed a huge difference because it all kind of happened this year after my hysterectomy. I still have my ovaries, but it's still that time due to my age. I've noticed my skin is just becoming very loose here. Everything is starting to kind of fall. So I'm doing everything I can to slow and stop that process and build up my collagen stores as best as I can so that I can age for more gracefully for longer before I feel like I look old. And, I say that like it's a bad thing. It's okay to be old. In fact, I am so grateful that I get to be old. Kind of sad note, but my mom passed away at 54. She didn't get to be old. So understand me when I say that I am trying to age and feel the best in my own skin as I can, and not that I am throwing shade at being old. It is a privilege to get to be old. So we are going to start with where I started 8 months ago, right before I did my Coolpeel, which is basically a CO2 laser, but it is turned way down to its very, very lowest setting, which is great for people like me who don't want the full peel and don't want all of the downtime afterwards, because it can be significant, like weeks. And for people who have darker skin tones who can't use the CO2 at its max. I will show you a little bit of informational stuff about the two different lasers that I use. The only reason that I went from one laser to the other is because I felt like one was a little stronger and not the funnest thing for me to go through, and the second one I think was a better choice for me. You'll see at the end kind of results, but this is me today, and I'm pretty happy with how things turned out. You'll have to kind of watch it and see for yourself as to whether you think it's enough of a change for it to be worth it for you to give it a try. Let me tell you a little bit about CO2 lasers and the nano-ablative lasers and the Hero BBL broadband light treatment, which I had done for all of those dark age spots and to address a lot of the little spider veins that I have around my nose, on my chin, and around the sides of my mouth. Okay, so here's some information about those before we get started. So let's start with the CO2 laser. It is a laser that resurfaces using targeted beams of light to remove the superficial layer of your skin. It really heats up underneath the skin. The way that you get a baby CO2 is that you do a very, very light setting of it, and it does not heat up those layers quite so bad, so there's less damage. The laser really targets the water deep underneath the skin layers, and the stronger, the deeper it goes. So the lighter, the less deep it goes, which causes less damage, but it still makes that water just sort of evaporate very quickly, which damages the surrounding areas, and then you have to heal. This is really just getting your skin to start producing more collagen and start the healing process so that you get all new skin. This is why it helps with getting rid of old skin and sunspots and spider veins, and it can really help with reducing any kind of precancerous cells. It also can help tighten up things like eyelids, because that skin, when it renews itself, will be hopefully tighter, newer skin. This also helps with acne scars. It gets rid of layers of that older skin that where the scar is, and stimulates it to produce new skin. For me, sebaceous hyperplasias, that is definitely a problem that I have. So it really helps me resurface those and get those pores to be smaller and newer and hopefully produce less sebum. It can help with skin cancer, which is certainly one of the issues that I have had over time. So this has been actually a very healthy thing for me to use. The side effects you are going to see on me specifically as I go through the healing process. Remember, I used one of the very lightest laser settings. So even though I had significant amount of healing that needed to be done, it was nowhere near what a full CO2 can and will do. 3 months later, I decided to opt for the Nano Laser Peel, which is a very light erbium laser. I decided this because I wanted less downtime and I wanted it to hurt less. So far, I really think that this was a great option for me, and it really seemed like it did just as good a job as the CO2. Now, that's hard to say because the CO2 probably did a little bit of work for me ahead of time. So I would definitely agree with this. It is very comfortable compared to even the baby CO2, which was a bit uncomfortable. It was certainly a lot easier afterwards. One of the nice things is that it's very customizable. It only took about 15 to 30 minutes. I didn't use any anesthetic. It was comfortable enough without, and the downtime was just absolutely nothing. Here's what it treats: dullness and fine lines, and aging skin and enlarged pores. One of the biggest selling points of this is that it is just so much easier to get through and to recover from. So you need more treatments, but these are some of the results that you can sort of expect. How many treatments they say you need? It's probably a few, but you can really enhance your results by also doing the Hero BBL. Here's sort of before and after. This is very similar to what I experienced after doing the Hero BBL. Now, this was all done together. Here are some of the things that it treats, and I found this to be super easy. It's just a part of it. They do it really quick before you get started on the nano laser. It's like a light flash and a little snap like a rubber band. It's really easy, especially with such good results. So what you end up with is all of those age spots over time, they're just gone. They come up like coffee grounds and just slough away. I love this. This is before my first Coolpeel treatment. As you can see, a lot more spots all over my face, and I have some broken capillaries that look sort of like bruising by the sides of my mouth. All around here on the nose, I have really bad broken capillaries there. And just overall, I'm a little more ruddy and sun damaged, kind of dark under eyes because of some of that sun damage. I will say that the lighting here is a little too bright in my camera. I just figured out in the last few months how to properly set it. It's blurring me out a little bit more. So these actually look a little better than they actually did in person. You will kind of see that towards the end when we do the final analysis side by side, right? But you can definitely see a lot of the spottiness and just general need for some resurfacing here. I even went ahead and did my eyelids because we were hoping to see if that would keep them from being as saggy. Yeah, so this is kind of where we're getting started. Let's move into treatment. This is directly after my first treatment. It was kind of painful, but that's why I have the little hose there that's blowing cold air on my face. The white stuff on my face is this sort of silver compound that is supposed to really help in burn healing. Okay, immediately after, ouch, ow, this hurts. It's tolerable and it's gonna settle down. And I've got like this silver stuff, silver cream all over it to try and get it to chill. So I'm gonna look real cute for the rest of the day. That's nice, yeah. But it went fine. It burns right now. Everything burns. It hurts. I have the AC blowing on it. I have been told that this will fade. We'll see how long it takes, but otherwise I did fine. I was kind of nervous about it. We just did one pass and then of the baby CO2, and that's like the lightest that they do. And then after that we also did some BBL, I think, for the brown spots all over my face, so those should come up over the next few days. And then we also addressed any of the broken capillaries that I had on my face, which, you know, that was fine. That wasn't too bad. It's like getting snapped by a rubber band, so it's kind of like, but it's not as bad as the laser. So, all right. So this is directly afterwards, and I would just be pink if I didn't have all the whites, like silver cream all over. But the silver cream is really supposed to help with the healing and cooling it down a little faster. So I said, fine, I'm going home, and I'm just gonna put my crazy looking face on the internet. That's all. So anyway, that's where we're at. This is about an hour after my baby CO2. My skin feels like it's on fire. It's tolerable, and it's getting better, but it really, really burns. And I mean, that's to be expected. It's supposed to just kind of start getting better after a while. The burning should sort of dissipate. I look crazy because I have like that silver cream on. Basically, it's like a burn cream. Without the cream, I just look red. And you can see a little bit like under my eyes. Yeah, I just look red. And my skin feels a little tight, and I can already see I'm a little swollen, but like actually in a kind of a nice way. We will see what I look like tomorrow, and I'll keep you updated. But I mean, this is an hour afterwards. We're going to see how it goes. It was totally tolerable, not my favorite thing to do, and I definitely am glad that I stayed on the lower end of things, but I will have to keep doing this probably 4 times or so. They say to do it quarterly, so we're just going to go ahead and see how this goes, but here's where we are at this point, and I will keep you updated 1 hour after. This is the first evening. I'm not allowed to wash my face. I really want to wash my face. I have just sort of marks all over from where we treated things, and I'm definitely feeling swelling. My eyelids are swollen. The only makeup I have on is on my eyelashes, so everything else, all this red and any pigment, is just my skin. So I gotta say, it kind of hurts tonight. It's not worst, but it didn't feel great. But I mean, like, it could be a lot worse. My eyelids feel really, really swollen. They feel like they're puffing up, and like it kind of feels weird to open them. Like they want to swell shut, kind of. We'll see what it's like in the morning, but I cannot wait to get this sticky stuff off of my face tomorrow morning. Okay, first night, doing okay. My first morning check-in, I rinsed my face off with cool water, and then I've put just a bunch of sort of occlusive moisturizers and serums on. It still feels a little bit like road rash. You know, it's a little burny, like I don't really like touching it too much. But otherwise, it's not too terrible. I've got a lot of sort of spots coming up, which is to be expected from the IPL. We're trying to bring up that pigment and then have it slough off. I'm still red. I'm not that swollen this morning, which I'm actually surprised. I was expecting today to be a really bad swelling day. It's not too bad. It's better than last night, honestly. And then I do have that sort of rough, very fine sandpaper feel to my skin. You're not supposed to peel it off. You're not supposed to like scrub it or anything like that. you just moisturize it and let it do its thing. So we'll see how many days this takes. Feel a little beat up, I look a little beat up. I think I will be able to cover this up with makeup and go about my day. Okay, good news is this is the first morning. It took me a while to do my makeup. I feel pretty comfortable. Like, actually, it's just fine. I can totally go out in public like this. This is actually pretty good. Very doable for if you really can't have too much downtime and you need to be able to cover it up. I would say that this is actually real doable so far. We'll see when maybe stuff starts sloughing off, but we're not there yet. Okay, this is day 2. It already is looking a lot better. You can see all of the brown spots are coming up. That's totally expected. That's what's supposed to happen, and they'll eventually just sort of slough off. The bruising is already a little bit better, and that will continue to get better. The redness is actually not quite as bad. I have a lot of moisturizer on, but I haven't put my sunscreen on yet. That's like super glowy. It doesn't really hurt anymore. It's still a little uncomfortable. The biggest thing is that it is super, super rough feeling. And like I did feel when I woke up this morning, like stuff was maybe coming off. I didn't really see it. It was almost like it when a product pills and you get like that off. But I think, and it might have been product that was doing it, but I think it was probably skin. Sorry. But I mean, that's really what's supposed to happen. I'm supposed to kind of be stimulated to grow a new layer of skin, which hopefully is prettier than the last layer of skin. I don't know. We will see. The weirdest things is having rough under eyes. Having swollen, rough eyelids feels really strange. Overall, like, I'm going to be able to cover this up, I think, no problem. It's just that the texture feels so nasty. You want to scrub your face so bad, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to just let it kind of, because you don't want to scar yourself or anything like that. You're supposed to let it kind of come off naturally. I think that's going to happen hopefully over the next week. Hopefully it doesn't take longer than that. One thing is that it feels nasty, and I feel like if I keep doing this, like I'm peeling off a little more skin. So it's going to be a little trickier, I think, today to cover up. So, but again, totally doable compared to like the full CO2, which is like my face fell off. So I wasn't up for that. This is already, I think, a little more than I thought I was getting into, but that's good because I should get better results from that. I guess we'll see. This is day 2. I have a bunch of cover up on and my face itches so bad right now, probably because I have so much on, including powder, which is a little bit drying. I have a pretty glowy SPF on underneath it, trying to counteract how much texture there really is. My face feels like sandpaper, and it itches, and I want to scratch it real bad. Eventually, all of this is just going to come off, but for day 2, again, pretty easy to cover up. Totally like doable in public, I think. Today is day 3 of recovery. I have a whole bunch of just oils on my face. That's why it's all shiny. I washed my face and it is so rough still on day 3. Not a whole lot is coming off. Not like a whole lot is sloughing off or anything like that. So I wish it was, and I want to scrub my face so bad because the texture feels so just wrong. It's so, I don't like it. All of the spots are continuing to sort of slowly get a little bit better from where she, got little areas. I noticed a lot of like weird swelling in places where I've had a little bit of filler and things like here. So I don't know what that is. I think that's just my skin is just, very reactive. And so we'll just have to wait until it completely is like, okay, we're done. We're kind of going back to normal, and we'll see what I'm left with there. And yeah, I just want to rub my face off so bad. But again, it's mostly how it feels, not so much how it looks. As you can see, I'm going to keep touching my face, so it's a little redder than usual, but it's not that red anymore. It is redder than usual, but it's not that red. It's, the spots and the texture that is just driving me bananas. So it's very hard when the texture is like this, because it's my eyelid, like my eyelids and under my eyes is also super rough as well. And so that's pretty uncomfortable. I mean, not like just in everyday life. It's just like if you touch it, you're like, ugh, I don't like it. At this point, I'm feeling like I can't imagine doing this quarterly. This is not a full CO2, but it's somewhat ablative from this rough, like basically a whole layer of some of my skin is definitely gonna come off. So I think it's more than I was thinking, but it also means that I should get better results, because I am going to be. I asked her specifically, I said I wanted to get rid of some fine lines, wrinkles, texture, some issues and things. And you can't really get rid of those things without sloughing off some of that skin. And that means you're doing something probably ablative at some point. So this is definitely easier than what I've seen for like the full CO2s. If you have deep wrinkles, a full CO2 really, it can do amazing things for your skin, but your face is gonna have to fall off first. I just, no, I'm good. So we're just gonna try to avoid getting to that point in the first place. So yeah, at this point, I would say I'm feeling like this is enough of a thing for me that I don't think I want to do this quarterly. I think it's going to be maybe twice a year, maybe even once a year. We'll see, because I definitely I'm going to get some peeling out of this eventually. It's day 4, and I think I'm going to title this day "But Worse Before It Gets Better." So yesterday, I actually, towards the end of the day, a lot more sort of, it's like little bits of peeling. It's not like big sheets or anything like that. It's just really rough, kind of grainy, flaky skin everywhere. Really kind of, that was a little bit hard to cover up. I looked real dry right around the eyes and right here. This is kind of where I wanted a lot of the work done. And today, I have rinsed my face and I have nothing on right now. This is just dry face because I'm going to take a shower. This part looks real textured right now. Like, it looks a lot worse. It's not exactly peeling. It just looks, I don't know if you can see it, just like it's really dry and really extra textury here. It's like if you took what I was complaining about and made it 10 times worse than what it was. So I'm really hoping that means this whole area is renewing itself and this is all going to slough off, but it just feels rough and dry and extra textured right now. And I do feel like it's probably because I have to keep putting so much stuff on my face to try to keep it moisturized. It does not feel like moisture will go through this layer into my face. It's like it just sits on top, which is super frustrating because I really, really want to moisturize this because it doesn't feel very good. It's still rough and sandpapery, but like it's a pretty fine, rough sandpaper like texture. I'm really not enjoying going through this process, and just because of that, it's really going to limit how much I want to do this in the future. Again, it's totally going to depend on the results as to whether I think it's worth it. But I mean, honestly, people go through way worse than this. It doesn't look that bad. I'm just being a baby and I don't like it. So there's that. From a distance, looking here, it doesn't look that bad. All of those bruised spots where she treated things, those are all really, really improving today. They're a lot less dark. It's doing what it's supposed to. It does not look that bad from a distance. It just feels terrible. I don't like the way it feels. So that's it. Day 5. It's early in the morning because I have to drive kids back into school. So I'm tired, but I will say that my skin finally started to turn the corner like after my shower yesterday. I just kept putting oils and stuff on, and it seemed like a lot of it started to kind of lose that rough texture from about here down. It's still rough here, it's still rough up on my forehead, and like right here. Under my eyes is getting better, on top of my eyes is getting better, but there's still like, it's definitely still rough in here. Like if I put a bunch of oils on it and I rub, like some of it I think will come off. I don't know, it feels like it will. So I do feel like newer skin is coming out. My chin is like starting to, I don't know if it's breaking out or what, but it feels irritated. She did more work on my chin, and so I don't know, something's going on with my chin, and it's not super happy. But you know, sometimes that just happens to me. My chin's one of my trouble areas, so everything's starting to get a little bit better. Texture is still worse than it was before I went in, but I think that's just par for the course, and it should get better. It feels softer again, although I still feel more coming off. Yeah, it's probably going to continue like this and hopefully get better each day. Okay, day 6. It is again super early in the morning, getting ready to leave for the kids. Not too much to report today. It is still dry up here. I have washed, I've moisturized this morning. I started to break out a little bit yesterday. It's probably because I was putting so much stuff on my face to moisturize because I could not stand the really thick layer of like dry skin, and just nothing would get through it. The one thing that did get through it was that essence, and that finally seems to have started the like sloughing off sort of phase, which is where I wanted to get to. But I mean, it's looking a little bit better every day. I was a little discouraged by the breaking out yesterday, but I actually treated that. I started using my salicylic acid, the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Breakouts again, and it seems to have really kind of put that back at bay. I do still notice the texture that I wanted to take care of here is still here. It's still a little more exaggerated. Same on the chin. The chin is actually a little more textury than before, around here and here, and then definitely my forehead still is peeling. It still feels rough. It's taking its time, and the temples and stuff like that. But overall, I mean, like, we're out of phase now where I can just put my makeup on and it's just like I'm a little dry or something. It's not that bad. It's not like a, ooh, this is too hard to cover up. So it's really not that bad. Nobody besides me would notice. This is just going to be kind of slow recovery now, I think, at this point. So yay. So this is just after washing my face at 3 weeks after lasers. I still need to do my red light therapy, put all of my serums on. This is just my dry face. I feel like I have been struggling with worse skin lately. It's more like the sebaceous hyperplasias are kind of getting active, and they look like breakouts. They're really not. Yeah, it's not like a closed comedone or anything like that. They just sort of like get raised, bigger, and they look like, you know, a little bit of acne in sort of my spots, but it's really, I think, just overactive oil glands. And then ever since I got the lasers, I keep getting these like little tiny, I mean, I hesitate to call it acne, but it is. It's just little teeny tiny acnes, sort of on my cheeks, which is a weird place for me to get it. I've started doing my tretinoin again, twice a week. That helps clear up the skin a little bit, but it also, I'm having a little more trouble with my skin being rough. As a result, I definitely feel very peely. I'm hoping that since we're about halfway to that first 6 weeks, which is your first full skin cycle, that I'm actually still maybe peeling, because I have trouble getting a nice smooth application of my foundations and things like that. I think I'll have to compare this, but I think that overall, like, all of my spots and sun damage does look like it is way lighter now without my makeup on. That wasn't what I was super hoping to improve, because that I don't mind covering up with makeup. That's easy. Plus freckles are cute, so it's fine. It is giving me clearer skin. I still have some of the redness under here. It's not as bad as it was, but it's definitely still there. I would say there's an improvement in those, but I feel like more work needs to be done to actually have there be less. Some of the dark spots around here are a little bit better, especially the ones that had some of the sort of veins in them and things like that. That sounds gross, but I mean, that's just like the little spider veins, you know, the little blood vessels that are basically leaking a little bit. My chin right now seems to be doing worse. It's more sort of blotchy, spotty, it's dry. Some of this I think is the tretinoin, or that I'm still peeling. I'm not really sure. My cheeks seem to be doing okay. These areas where there was texture, there is still texture. In fact, on kind of dry, more peely feeling, it's weird because I don't peel. It just looks scaly a little bit. Sometimes I think this area actually looks worse, and my makeup is going on worse right now. So I'm really trying to be patient and wait for the full 6 weeks, because I think there's a good chance that I'm just not done getting rid of that first layer of skin that we wanted to have slough off and, put in new skin. So I don't think I'm seeing all of the new skin. I haven't noticed massive differences. I think I did after about 1.5 to 2 weeks. I felt like I would see after the really bad roughness went away, walk by the mirror a couple times with the downlight, and it was really, really like harsh. And usually that's where I'm like, oh God, I need to do something about my skin. And it was a lot smoother in the mirror. I was like, oh, okay, I actually see something, and I would feel it, and I'm like, okay, it feels pretty smooth. That is going away now. I feel like it's getting worse again, especially with the sebaceous hyperplasias in this area, and this getting just rough and kind of spotty. So, and up here too, it's all basically in my T-zone. So this may be where after 6 weeks, if that stuff's not better, I don't know if I will continue with the lasers. I may go back on the Accutane, because the Accutane really helped with those areas. And then I may do lighter lasers regularly, or I might do this level laser like once a year or something like that. I don't know. This is all an experiment to see how this goes. I'm always trying to find something that's going to work for me. It's not going to be necessarily the same as everybody. I don't have the most sensitive skin, but I do have sensitive skin. It doesn't always react the way everybody else's does. So there's certain things that I can't use that everybody else is like, yeah, you should be using this. So, well, not me. So at any rate, this is my very long 3-week check-in. I will see you guys when I have something significant that is a change, or at 6 weeks. Okay, so on the left is the before. Unfortunately, my lighting was not the same. I had it really blown out before, so it's a little hard to tell the difference. The more accurate depiction with less blurring from the camera, I finally figured out how to use my darn camera, is on the right. That is me at 6 weeks. Overall, I am still seeing some of the texture that I had before, but I do think that it is a little bit better. Definitely the, veins under my nose are a bit better. It's really hard to see that so much in these videos. I have some pictures that they showed me at the office, and you can see like a huge difference from when I went back in, like way after, about, I think 3 months afterwards, to get another one. Overall, I would say that my face and my skin looks clearer and smoother, but I do feel like I want to keep going for more full results. Okay, this next section is from about 3 months after I had the original Coolpeel, and this is the Nano Laser Peel. So this one was a lot easier. Let's go right into the footage of right after my peel. Okay, this is a day right after lasers. All I've done is wash my face. I'm still pretty swollen. I've still got this. I got like a hematoma from trying to fill a little tiny old thing of filler here, and so I've got this big lump here. This has nothing to do with the lasers. You can see some of the brown spots coming up, and really it just feels a little bit swollen. It's supposed to peel. We really did these areas here and here. So I've definitely got some red spots and stuff like that. It's really big spots here, but this is much easier than the baby CO2. So we'll see. It does feel a little road rashy, but it actually looks like my skin's a lot smoother right now. I do feel like it's gonna peel. I can kind of feel it. But way easier and like more immediate surface results that I like. So yeah. This is day 2 after doing the laser peel. And so far, this is just so much easier. My skin feels very tight. It feels like it's going to peel, but it hasn't peeled yet. It's a little rough in these areas, and it just feels really tight. You can see how shiny that is. That's not oil. It's, I don't know. It's just, it's like a tight layer of skin that I am pretty sure is going to come off. And the spottiness is definitely, everything's a little bit darker. That's what it does. It's gonna, the BBL brings all of these spots up. It destroys that pigment. It comes to the surface, and then it's gonna slough off. So I've done that before. It's just not, it's so not hard. I recommend that one for sure if you have like all of the, you know, age spots and freckles like me. I'm very red today. I wasn't as red yesterday. Kind of interesting. I don't know why. I've just been moisturizing. I'm really just waiting for this tightness. I'm waiting for this to peel because I can feel it. I can feel it coming no matter. Ooh, yeah, I feel like there's an actual, I think there's a peely patch right here that's gonna happen real soon. But overall, my skin is tighter and smoother faster than it was with the baby CO2. So I'm really, so far I'm really liking the results of this one better, and it's easier to handle. So we'll see in the end, you know, how much difference it makes. But yeah, all right, so this is day 2. I just washed my face. That's part of why it's extra red, but it was red before that. It doesn't hurt. It just feels real dry, real tight. In fact, I'm gonna go put a lot of moisturizer on right now. Okay, this is the 3rd day, and this, see these dark spots? That's what happens when all of that pigment comes up. My skin started peeling last night, like full on peeling, and I kind of rubbed a lot of it off. You're not really supposed to touch it. It still feels really rough here. I can tell more is gonna come off. I'm red. When I went to wash my face and put all of my moisturizers and stuff on last night, it stung so bad. I was laying in bed. I'm just like, come on, stop stinging. So that's kind of where we're at. I just rinsed my face off this morning. Feels better than yesterday, but I still, there's more peeling to go. It's pretty rough today, but there's like smooth patches, so it's still really doable. Easy to cover up with makeup too. So this is day 5 after the laser peel and BBL. Still a little, I've got some bruising. Definitely have some spots going on here and general irritation. But the peeling finally stopped. Yesterday was sort of the peak of the peeling, yesterday and the day before, and it literally was peeling off, like more of like a chemical peel. The baby CO2 that I did, it did not peel. It sort of like got really thick and really like leathery feeling, and then it eventually sort of balled off. This, there was peeling, like full on peeling. All I have is a bunch of moisturizers on right now. I just washed it this morning, and it just feels a lot smoother today. So I think this is day 5, and I think this is where it's gonna start kind of being more normal to put makeup on. Like, it actually feels pretty good this morning. It felt pretty bad yesterday. I would put makeup on and then it'd start peeling again, and so I'd have to kind of start over and moisturize a bunch, and it was sort of a mess yesterday. I still was able to put makeup on it and go about my day. So it wasn't my best looking skin day, and it made me look older for sure because I just had this dull, peely skin. Okay, so I would say so far I like the results of this a lot better than I do the Coolpeel. I don't know how intense and long lasting it will be, but this certainly was a much more doable peel. If I'm going to do peels again, and I think I probably will, just depending on how much texture I have, I think I will do this one again. Okay, started in February, about 7 to 8 months ago, with a Coolpeel, which is basically just a baby CO2. And here's what I look like with just some moisturizer on. This is a lot better than where I started. So far, I would definitely say that doing the peels has made an overall difference in the way my skin looks and acts. I actually have days where like I really could almost get away without wearing face makeup. I don't think I've ever said that in my whole life since I, hit teenagerdom. So there is something to be said for that. I was hoping for more texture, and it is doing that. I think I have to continue with that in order to get that where I want it to be. The added bonus was how much clearer it made my skin look. Now, I know that's stupid. That's exactly what lasers are supposed to do. I guess I didn't have that on my priority list, and I didn't realize how much better it would look afterwards. So my takeaway is if you really want to be able to not wear makeup and you are really bothered by a lot of like things that are not so much the texture, but the texture too, but mostly if it's the spottiness of your face, redness, broken veins, overall just like a lot of sun damage, these lasers do a fantastic job with taking care of that. I have used tons of like home peels, and I have gone for in-office peels. I don't think that any of those, I'm not doing like the full, oh my gosh, your face falls off kind of peels, but kind of a little more harsh peels, heavy duty glycolic and lactic acids. And then I did one, I can't remember what it was called, but I did one in office that was like, my face did kind of fall off. Those were more for acne. I did not see a whole lot of change in how many deep spots I had all over my face. Hyperpigmentation, redness around the nose. Certainly, it's not going to do anything for veins. That's where the BBL or the IPL really shines. This is really what my skin looks like now. This is a huge difference. So far, I really, really am liking it. I really, really liked the second peel that I did. And in fact, I'm thinking I will go back and get that done again here pretty soon, just because I really am happy with the results, and the downtime on that one and the overall experience of that one was so much easier, I found, than the CO2. CO2 is kind of painful. I mean, just realistic. It's doable. It's doable, but do I want to do it? No, because I feel like, at least with the one that I did and then following it up with the Nano Laser Peel, I feel like I'm getting the results that I want. And if I just keep doing this either quarterly or bi-yearly, I think I will be able to keep it at this level, which for being almost 50, I mean, this is better skin than I would expect to have at this age. And I think that if I can do anything I can to reduce the sagging, which is going on here, and just keep this where it's at so that I don't feel like I'm even thinking about surgery, because I hate surgery, I really don't want to do surgery, then I'm going to probably keep doing those kind of things, kind of like I do Botox. Price on this was, let's see, I live in the Seattle area, so I go get my treatments done over in Bellevue. This is a very expensive area, so I'm sure you can probably find, if you don't live in one of these like, very expensive areas, I'm sure you could find this for cheaper probably. But here, let's see, the combo for full face of both treatments is about $500 for the laser part, and then another $500 for the BBL part. The BBL, if you really just are worried about the veins and some of the spottiness, those BBLs really, really are very tolerable, very easy, almost no downtime, totally easy to cover. It's really just pigment. You don't get any rough stuff or peeling or anything like that. They do a great job, especially with the broken veins and capillaries. And if you just kind of keep doing that, you can really keep yourself looking clear. And the bonus of that is if you have sun damage that may be precancerous, it helps bring all of that to the surface and gets rid of all those old, I think they call them senescent cells, but basically dead cells that could go cancerous. So it's actually a healthy thing to do if it's in your budget. So, and all of this is cheaper than going and having a facelift. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. Let me go ahead and do my makeup and then I will give you my final thoughts. And I have to film the front of this video as well. So I'll be right back. Okay, so let me know what you think, but I can tell you that I am very happy with the results, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go back here pretty soon and get a third treatment. I am going to go with the Nano Laser Peel instead. I feel like that is just so much easier to tolerate, and I really liked the results. The downtime was a lot less, and it was just easier to go through, and I felt like I got the same results as the CO2. Now, that could be because I already had the work done with the CO2, so I got better results with less work from the Nano Peel. So keep that in mind. But I don't feel like I really want to do the CO2 again. It is definitely a bit of a process. It's a little bit painful. But let me know what you think. Hopefully this was helpful. I am happy to answer any questions you might have. I really just wanted to share this because I had a lot of questions. I watched some other people and their procedure. I was not really aware that you could do a baby CO2, so I found it very exciting when I went in to ask about, what kind of treatments I could do at my provider. I was very excited to hear that you could do a lesser version of that, because anything that is non-ablative, it's not going to get rid of texture, and it's not going to get rid of wrinkles or anything like that in any significant way. It may help you with producing more collagen, but that's going to be really subtle, and for the cost, that just didn't make a lot of sense to me. So I did want to do some resurfacing, especially since I'm somebody who has been on Accutane, has had cystic acne, has sebaceous hyperplasias, which are now kind of going into remission after the Accutane. I kind of had to go back on it for a little bit, but after that, and when my hormones went down and I kind of like started to hit real menopause, which is where I'm at right now, the oiliness of my skin very quickly went away, and that completely has been clearing up those sebaceous hyperplasias. So that's great. But with all of that stuff, I have accumulated some sun damage, some texture, certainly the spider veins. There was a lot that I really needed to address that was going to require removing some layer of skin, but I just really didn't want to go through what I saw other people go through with the full CO2, like full CO2. That's just not for me. So I really wanted to share that there are other options now. They can turn those lasers down now. They didn't used to do that. So at any rate, if you're interested, here you go. I hope this was helpful. Let me know. If you have any questions, of course, leave them below and I will get right back to you. Also, if you like this kind of content and you haven't subscribed yet, I sure would appreciate a like and subscribe, as I am here usually once a week to answer questions and talk about beauty and just make videos about what you guys have questions about, because I have questions about those things as well. And that's kind of why I started this channel, is because I am sort of navigating this getting older, trying to age gracefully, finding out what is available to us as far as taking care of our skin, like doing the IPL and BBLs. That's actually really healthy if you have a lot of sun damage and you don't want the precancerous stuff to turn cancerous, because I have had skin cancer. So for me, some of this stuff is just a healthy thing for me to do anyway. So some of you, maybe if you have my skin tone and hair color, you know what I'm saying, and you're in the same boat. So it's definitely one of those things where not only is it going to give you good results beauty-wise, but it's a good thing to do so that you don't end up getting things like basal cell cancers, which I have. This ear is smaller than this ear because they had to take a square inch out of it during a 10-hour Mohs surgery to remove a huge basal cell cancer. And that was just from driving just over here, That's just another reason I want to share some of this, because I didn't know any of this stuff myself. Okay, so I will be back to doing my makeup reviews very soon, but I do like to share some of these like overall beauty and skincare things that I am doing, because the makeup only helps so much, so sometimes it's good to know exactly what's going on under the makeup and what's out there. All right, hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next video.